it under control.
I'd hate to see out of control.
You mustn't be afraid to dream a little bigger, darling.
So as you can imagine, I was excited to see it, and I have to say, it met every single expectation, however, with reservations. It's not a completely faultless film, and but it is a brilliant film, in many ways a beautiful film, and something that challenges what summer blockbusters they can be and what they should be. I will say that what I enjoyed here was Leonardo DiCaprio's role, more than I thought I would actually. In the trailer that you see him with Marianne Cotillard, and it's kind of hinted there with the dialogue as well, what's going on there. And that half of the story, that side of the story, is so much more involving than I ever expected it would actually be. It's quite surprising how involving and interesting that side is. I was actually looking forward to when they go back to that. There's so many great visual things. There's bits where he goes into his subconscious, and basically Leo basically has issues with his own mind. He can't keep his shit together, and he keeps interfering. His memories and his dreams are interfering with their mission and their dreams. And basically he needs to keep his shit together to stop this from happening, but at the same time I think he needs to resolve some of these issues, or else this mission can't go forward. And I think that struggle and that subplot, which, let's face it, is actually more interesting than not the events that happen during the heist, but the reason for the heist. I will say that I think the reason for the heist, basically what they want to do is they want to convince this guy to dissolve all the assets of his company and break down his company, shut it down, so Ken Watanabe's character can become the leading, I don't know, provider of, I don't know, energy or something. Now, that's kind of weak, I thought. I thought there was going to be something a little bit more complex and a little bit more emotionally interesting. I guess you've got the whole thing with Killian's father, which is quite good, bringing a kind of human element to it rather than just, oh, I've got this business that needs to win over this business. But at the same time, I thought there was going to be something slightly more interesting as the motive for the theft, for the planting of the idea. So that maybe was a little on the weak side, I thought. Also, I'll get the last bad thing out of the way now I'm on there. I will say that there was too much explaining. There was too much sitting around going, this is how this works and this is how this works. I'd rather have seen explanation by example. I'd rather have had each character do their kind of speciality. I mean, they kind of did that with Ellen Page a little bit, but I wanted to see more of her creating the world. I wanted to see whatever Joseph was good at. I don't exactly know what Joseph Gordon-Levitt was meant to be good at. Or I wanted to see more of Tom Hardy going into different minds of becoming people. Perhaps maybe explaining it, for example, I would have preferred that explaining it through words. As I think, I'm not saying that I can't sit down and listen to somebody talk. Please don't spam me. I'm just saying that I can, but maybe just keep it on the down low. Okay, so that's basically, unless I think of anything off the fly, that's all the bad basically done. So let's get on to the good, and there's a lot of good. Each actor is superb in the movie and cast perfectly. Leonardo DiCaprio is amazing in the film. Marianne Cotillard plays such an interesting character in this movie. Seriously, I've always been impressed with her, but her character in this is very interesting. The issues she has to deal with and how they relate to Leonardo's character and all that is very, very good for a conflict and a narrative. Ellen Page needed more to do, but she was good in what she was doing. Tom Hardy, I thought, was brilliant in his role. He was really kind of professional. He was probably the most, Joseph was quite good. But he was real professional at what he did. He was funny, really funny. He didn't really have much drama to do, but he was good for the comic relief, but it wasn't over the top. It was really expertly done. Joseph Gordon-Levitt was great. I'm a big fan of his, and I thought he did the physical. He had to do most of the physical zero gravity stuff. And basically, at one part of the film, they kind of do dreams within a dream, and each dream involves a kick, involves some kind of action of like that, some kind of drop, to get them out of it. And I thought Joseph Gordon-Levitt's sequence there when he was trying to devise his drop was genius. Seriously, absolutely genius. The different things he had to do to do this, and the conflicts he was fighting against, you know, the opposing elements he was fighting against, made for a great scene. I'd also like to say that the final, you know, I heard somebody say that the final kind of sequence or set piece was about an hour and a half. I thought, no, that can't be. And it actually is. If you count from the moment that they enter the building that most of this stuff is going to take place, just count that place. It is, when they enter that place, it is like an hour and a half until the final set piece. And it's amazing. And what's really good is how they managed to juggle all of the, because there's multiple things going on, and the time that they gave to each segment of the finale was just perfect. It was spot on, and it really, you know, just when you wanted to see more about what Joseph was doing, they gave it you. Just as you wanted to see more about what was going on with Leonardo DiCaprio, they gave it you. And I think they juggled it so well, better than I think any movie's juggled a finale I think I've ever seen that's complex. Not there are that many finales that complex. I'd like to say one more thing, actually. One more thing, but I think this is pretty much it in terms of specifics. But I'd just like to point out an actor's performance that I don't think will get hardly any mention, and that's Cillian Murphy. Now, I think for the role that Cillian Murphy had, it's a thankless role in a sense. He is more of just a tool for the narrative. But if you look at his performance carefully, it's a very layered one, and it's very good. It's very good, in fact. You know, for a role that kind of, and also you could have just, you know, just paycheck that in. Really, there wasn't much to do. But if you look at it, you really do get the idea that he's fighting with conflicts about what his father wants him to be and what he wants to be, and how he's confused, but at the same time he's confused by what's going on. But you get the idea that he does want to be part of this because he wants to know about, you know, his father's issues with him. And I think, you know, that is a really good performance that I think many people will miss. You know, not because it's, you know, I'm not being condescending. I'm just saying that because there is so much more to look at, and to be fair, his screen time is lower than some people's. I think his performance really needs mention both within the fans and in the media. Okay, so as I say, Inception is the best movie of the year. Yes, definitely. I will need to see it again, because though I love it, I think it will get better on repeat viewings. There's stuff you'll notice on repeat viewings, I imagine, and there are certain issues that I think will flatten out and become even on repeat viewings. So basically my summary of the movie. It's smart, it's clever, it flows beautifully. For such a long film with so many ideas, it flows beautifully. There are issues with too much explaining. As I say, I'd like to see explanation by example, and also I feel that the heist point, the plot point there about the actual idea they need to plant, and the motives behind that were weak. All the performances were off the chart. The direction by Nolan was outstanding. The cinematography and the music was outstanding. This is the movie of the year by quite a bit. This is a great movie. If you're depressed by the movie year, see this. It'll lift your spirits. Thank you for watching.